Oh, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Welcome to my channel. I'm John Hartledge. We're going to talk about Cabernet and also the general approach to getting a really nice bottle of wine, but not necessarily spending an intense amount of money. We're going to talk about the Eberle Vineyard Selections. Now, there's a difference. Almost the same exact label, two different words. This is Vineyard Selection. There's also an estate bottled, about a difference of $15 to $25 in price. But this is the Eberle Paso Robles Vineyard Selection Cabernet Sauvignon. It's excellent. I can't wait to taste it with you. Let's chat wine. So, let's talk some Cabernet. Why Cabernet on Christmas? First, it rolls off the tongue, Cabernet and Christmas. But the other reason is because when you get a lot of family together, you're not sure what everybody likes. You do know that a good many of your family does like a big red wine. And buying a red wine, particular Cabernet, from this particular region of California is a good bet. One, that you're going to get a lot of delivery of flavor in the glass. You're not going to break the bank with the cost of the bottle. This bottle of Eberle Vineyard Selection would run anywhere from $18 to $22. Again, nice pocket for a nice bottle of wine on a holiday. And in general, Paso Robles is one of my go-tos for this type of red wine. Not so much a Syrah, but Zinfandel and Cabernet for sure. Again, about 10 miles east of the Pacific Ocean, where you get to a really hot heat index, anywhere from 85 degrees to 105 degrees. That means those grapes are going to be unctuous and full of fruit when even after you ferment out some of that sugar and create a dry wine, you have a lot of fruit and a lot of delivery, as I say, in the glass when you open the bottle and actually pour it. Now, I'm going to try it once without any aeration, then I'm going to try it again with the aeration, just because it's still very young. It's 2016. So we're going to try it both ways. I usually just take the whole capsule off. As I've said in other episodes, the capsules changed. They used to be lead. God forbid they were. You just have to make sure you washed the whole capsule before you served, because it would leave a residue. But lead was just so easy to peel. There was never a sharp edge. Well, now there can be tin, there can be different conglomerates of metal and alloy in these foils. Sometimes they're sharp as a razor. So I usually just take the whole thing off. You can be very neat with it too. You can pull out on the wine opener. Sometimes you have that little cutter and you can go around the edge. But still, sometimes it leaves shards, and it leaves sometimes a razor sharp edge. You know, I don't like to get cut. So there we go, especially before I have a nice bottle of wine. Okay, let's go here. So again, we're going to get the point of the corkscrew right in the center of the cork. And then once we get the corkscrew into the cork, we're going to then make it perpendicular. And we go right through the center of the cork. We get to where we can maybe just get a little bit of the cork up off the bottle. Like so. So I got a little distance there, and then enough to fit the end of the corkscrew in. And look how smoothly that's coming up. So this cork moved out of that bottle really easily. It's not actually real cork. So along with some other episodes that I've had, it's becoming very common in the wine industry to use not only a twist-off cap, so then you don't have corkage, because real cork is hard to find very clean. So winemakers, and it's getting more and more expensive and more rare, so winemakers will use real cork, which is porous and allows for a very slow aeration of wine over time, aging, oxidation. It allows for that naturally, but many times that cork is not in a good state. It has what's called a TCA bacteria, and it affects the flavor of the wine and the smell of the wine. So other than a screw cap or a twist off, winemakers are using conglomerate little polymer corks, so they come out nicely. There have been some issues with seal, so sometimes you won't have a great seal, but man, that cork is easy to work with, and it really does hold together nicely. So here we go with the Eberle. Let's do a little taste, and let's also, like I usually do, is check the ABV. So alcohol by volume is 14.1%. 14.1. Once you get to that 14% level, you start to get to a heavier wine. So what you hope for in a 14% plus wine is that it doesn't taste alcohol-y. You don't want it to get like start to singe like a spirit or a liqueur. You want to make sure there's plenty of fruit to balance that heavier alcohol, and you hope that alcohol is really just giving body to the beverage. Really, a little bit of fruit coming out. It's still young, but there is something coming out from the nose. Dark berries. You don't expect a Syrah-like jamminess from a Cabernet, but like I said, in Paso Robles, with that hot temperature, you do get a lot of ripening. But I expect more of a black cherry, more maybe black berries, but not really a resiny currant blueberry effect. And Cabernet also has that backbone. Always has that that tannic backbone. And tannin, just like in tea, it's tannin. It's the element that gives the oak leaf its color in the fall. A tannin in wine is the acidity, unique red wine acidity that gives a wine structure. And Cabernet is one of the most structured red wines, and that's why it's famous for being able to age for years and years. So here I have some jammy ripe fruit, but I also have this real big background and backbone of structure. So it's not like cream and jam. There's like nice fruit, but there's also structure. So I feel like this almost vertical on the palate. Absolutely very nice. It's not bursting with fruit yet, and that may change once we decant it. So let's take our other glass, and let's take our aerator. And as I've said on past episodes, we have a little air hole here as gravity leads the liquid down through the tube. That gravity is the same effect of inertia that pulls air along with it, and you can hear it. You can hear it gurgle right into the liquid, and that really does take the aging process and speeds it up right before you serve. So fascinating. Again, physics meets art and agriculture. So already a little more aromatic on the nose. What I'm trying to do when I put my wine on the palate is chew a little bit. I don't know if you hear this a lot, but it's a phrase that I like to use: chew the wine. And by chew the wine, I don't mean munch down or go crazy. I mean very slowly savor the wine. Keep it on your palate for a little bit before you swallow it. And then once you swallow it, maybe it's the first taste and you're around it and you don't have to be so formal. Squeegee the tongue with the teeth. It really just pulls that extra bit out of the tongue and also forces the wine down into all of your taste buds. But chewing the wine really does give you a chance to get a feel for it. It warms it up a little bit so you get more aromatics. And it indeed, by putting that air on the wine, it really did round it. So I have this beautiful, well-made, rounded Cabernet Sauvignon at the $20 price point, and it would easily compare to a Napa Valley wine. And I have to say it absolutely, but Napa Valley, because of the real estate, is going to be, in this type of wine, would be more like $40, at least double the price. So you're taking a half the price of that kind of beautiful Napa delivery, and you're getting it from Paso Robles. Like I say, it's beautiful. This has been a lot of fun. Cheers. Well, that was fun, sharing a beautiful wine on the holidays with all of you. A Cabernet that is soft enough to go with all of the hors d'oeuvres and cheese platters that are common when the family gets together for a holiday, or with enough structure to go with the holiday roast beast. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Don't be afraid to leave a comment below, and please subscribe. Hit that bell. If you hit that bell, you won't miss a notification for a new episode. I got to tell you, we got some ideas bubbling up, really fun for the next episode. Join me again. Let's chat wine.